Hi everyone, and welcome to Mommy Talk on Fuse Logic TV. I'm your host, Narissa Singh, mother of two and owner of Play and Learn Toys, the go-to source for unique toys that inspire learning and creativity. On our show today, we're going to talk all about baby wearing. We have joining us our own local expert on baby wearing, Natasha Chaim Babywearing Educator and Chief Executive Mama at Natural Urban Mamas. A lot. An online natural parenting store that specializes in baby carriers and baby wearing education. For those of you viewing us live, if you have any questions or comments for Natasha during our show, you're invited to join us in the chat room to participate in our discussion. How are you, Natasha?
I'm good. How are you?
Welcome. I'm so glad to have you here.
Yes, me too. I finally got here.
Yeah. Before we dive into baby wearing, let's discuss a bit about yourself and Natural Urban Mamas.
Yes.
You're a mommy of four, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Yes.
And you're married to the man of your dreams.
I am.
Literally.
I am. I did. I dreamt about it.
We definitely need to hear that story later on.
I did. I had a dream and he showed up. It was...
There you go.
Kind of fate, I guess.
Right on. And you're the chief executive mama of Natural Urban Mamas.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about how crazy is your life, 2 kids, a dog, chief executive mama.
Yeah. Life is crazy, but it's a good crazy. You know, I'd rather be busy than not. The kids keep me busy. They're getting older now, so they have a lot of activities that they're involved with. They're more independent, although they do still love to get worn in carriers, so that's all good. The business is really taking off, so I'm really excited about that as well.
Awesome. How long have you been in business?
Natural Urban Mamas is now in its 3rd year.
Awesome.
Yeah, and... the blog is in its first... Well, we're about to have our 2nd anniversary with the blog as well. So good. It's going well.
I read some of your stuff and it's very informative. Very good. Very good blog. And how do you balance work with your personal life? Mm-hmm. I have to ask other working moms that question because,
I have on my Twitter account, if you look at my bio, it says I don't really like the term balance. I prefer to be flexible and bendy because I think as moms you kind of have to be.
You cut off work and family. No, it's all
can't. It's all meshed together, and you just have to be flexible. You have to realize that the plans that you had for one day may not happen as you expected, and go with the flow.
Go with the flow. That's
I think if you try to always find that balance, you're going to drive yourself crazy. And we're already crazy enough with everything else that we have going on. We don't need to add to that.
No. So with being 3 years into business already, what advice would you give to other moms in business out there trying to make it out there? What have you learned so far and want to tell other moms?
I learned some hard lessons. I went into business with my best friend, and who's no longer a best friend.
Business. Oh, yeah. So one of those life lessons.
That was a big life lesson. Know what you're doing. Get some advice before you legally do anything, incorporating or anything like that. And realize that if you're best friends with somebody, you're best friends with them, and you probably shouldn't be business partners.
And you hear that all the time, but
and then everybody does it.
Think it'll work too. And even for myself, that idea did cross my mind as well. And you know what? Earlier on, we kind of started having a little bit of different opinions and realized maybe it wasn't for us.
Yeah.
And then going into the 2nd year, like you said, it's always a learning experience, right? Because there are things that, oh my gosh, you had to make your mistakes and learn the hard way.
You do.
So it's all part of the...
I have one more thing, and I want to just say, because we talked about this a little bit just before we went on air, trade shows.
Yes.
Edmonton, for some reason, is like an explosion of mummy trade shows right now.
That's right.
And my one piece of advice for all the businesses who, want to take advantage of trade shows and things like that, is know your target audience and know what you want to get out of a trade show before you go and invest your money and your time and all your efforts, because they're a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
And, understand, like, what you're going to get out of it. Like, if you're there for sales or are you there for just promotion? Like, that would be my other piece of advice.
That's very good, because, yes, that was another lesson I learned hard in my first year, too. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah.
All right, so let's talk baby wearing.
Yay.
So, to the basics. What is baby wearing?
Baby wearing is simply, it's the practice of carrying a baby or a child in a soft carrier or sling. So it essentially mimics an in-arms carry. So you carry a baby in your arms, you hold them up, and I don't care who you are, but after like 20 minutes of holding 10 pounds in your arm, that's going to start to feel pretty heavy. So a baby carrier just kind of provides a little bit of, gives the baby that sense of still being held and carried and close to your body and close to your heart, but gives you a little bit of a break on your arms and everything else. And because most babies want to be held all the time.
And we'll talk a little bit about the myth, I guess, of holding your babies constantly later on.
Yeah.
Is there a trend right now with baby wearing? Is it just a trend, or are there actual benefits?
I think that in North America, we're starting to see it really, pick up a little bit more. Baby wearing's not new. It's not something that, it's like, woo, all of a sudden everyone's doing it. I mean, it's been practiced for centuries around the world.
What you're saying that just came to mind, like African countries, you see them working while their baby's attached.
Absolutely, yeah. My husband and I traveled in Tanzania before our children were born, and I mean, the moms go to work, the babies are on their backs, and, the kids wear their siblings. You'll see a 6-year-old wearing the baby. Yeah. And so it's a practice that's been around for centuries.
It's interesting because,
there's no strollers. There's no strollers.
No, exactly.
Maasai villages in the Serengeti.
So
the benefits. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are
lots of benefits. Okay. Can you name a few?
There's so many benefits. There's benefits from the perspective of it's convenient,
Right.
But if we go beyond that, there's a lot of benefits physiologically as well and biologically. When you're holding a baby and their head is kind of up, near your nose and stuff, babies release pheromones and hormones from their fontanelles. Those hormones stimulate a mother's release of oxytocin. And oxytocin levels can work to create a more intimate maternal bond. It can help you with breastfeeding. It lowers the incidence of postpartum depression in moms. So there's actual physiological benefits of having your baby close to you at all times.
I would have never,
We don't think you always want to sniff a baby's head, right? Everybody wants to smell a baby's head.
They smell so good.
Because you get that rush, you get that happy feeling, and that is an actual physiological response.
And then the benefit to the baby, they're comforted and close.
They're close, and I mean, essentially, when you're carrying a baby, they're calmer. All their basic primal needs are being met.
Yeah,
they're being held. They're close to their food source. If you're breastfeeding, they're being touched. They're being loved.
So it's a bonding thing for mom and baby,
totally,
too, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so are babies comfortable in their slings or carriers?
Yeah, I would say yes, but I would say it depends on how they're being carried, and I guess this is a good time to talk about this. The most important thing in baby wearing is proper positioning.
Okay.
So how you position your child on your body is the most important thing. So we always want to position babies in an upright position.
Okay.
So not lying down, not like cradle holding them across your arms. You want them upright, tummy to tummy.
Because some slings you have to position them like that, right?
Most baby wearers, especially in Canada, will no longer recommend a cradle carrying position. Okay. It's not a position that
is natural to hold.
It's a natural in arms position, because when you're holding a baby in your arms like this, their head goes over top of your arm, their airway stays open, and they can fall asleep like that. But when you're actually holding a baby, from a sort of, even from a balance perspective and a developmentally, and developing their muscles and things like that, having them upright on your body is a better position for them. Facing you. So we never recommend babies looking out and facing forward, although you do see a lot of those kind of carriers as well.
Yeah.
It's important that they are facing in, their legs are up. We talk about an M position.
Okay.
In baby wearing, so that knees are higher, bum is lower.
Okay. And I guess, you know what, I totally wish, my kids are 3 and soon to be 4 right now, and I didn't have that information. And I did have the carrier with the baby facing outwards, and it was just uncomfortable. You know, it was hard on the back. My kids weren't comfortable. And so it is good to get your information and become educated, not just say, oh, I'm going to go for baby wearing, but find the right product.
Yes.
Learn how to wear properly and correctly that's safe for the baby and comfortable.
And I mean, my goal in all the education that I do with baby wearing is that, I think that baby wearing is just as much it's just as important as learning about breastfeeding before you have your baby, or about your birth options or anything like that. Baby wearing is another thing that everyone should kind of have a little bit more education about and information about.
I totally agree,
prenatally.
because just, you know what, in the few minutes, things that I've just learned, things that I didn't know before, and it's definitely good information to have. So then, are all carriers the same?
No, not necessarily.
Because we're talking about,
that's what we're saying.
Are the babies comfortable? So,
and it's about the babies being comfortable. It's also about the parents or the person who's wearing the baby being comfortable as well. Because, like you said, the carrier you had, it hurts your back.
It did.
And you're
constantly adjusting.
You're constantly adjusting. You're like, oh, my baby's too big. I can't wear them anymore. It goes and sits in your closet.
Right.
So, no, I would say no. Not all carriers are created the same.
Right.
I recommend 4 different kinds of carriers. They're all soft fabric type carriers.
So those could be found on your website.
And they can all be found on the website. We'll
along
talk
with
about
instruction,
them.
Information
Everything comes
on
with
how
information
to
and instructions.
Perfect.
And
you're pretty accessible too. If people have questions, right? And you do workshops.
I do workshops. I do private consultations as well. So if this is something that you want to learn about a whole lot more, I can come to your house and.
Where were you when
I know. I'm sorry. I was having my babies and learning all about this stuff too.
So I'm gonna move on here. Yeah. How old can you baby wear?
Baby wear? Well, you know what? I read an amazing post yesterday by a mom who 11-year-old wears. She has a child who was born with spina bifida, and she has cerebral palsy. She's about 50 pounds, she still wears her child because they're an active family. They climb mountains. They go do all this stuff. So as much as if you can do it, most baby carries though, realistically, most baby carriers are weight rated to about 35 to 40 pounds. Okay. So that's about a 3.5-year-old, a typical 3.5, 4-year-old maybe.
So I'm thinking baby wearing is just all for babies, but my little girl, she loves getting cuddled and held. I'm sure, if she could fit into carrier, she's 5.
She totally
she would love it. She would want to be carried all the time.
Baby wearing is great for that 1 to 2-year-old toddler who you think, oh, they don't need to be worn anymore because they want to walk.
Yeah. They still need the
1 and 2 year olds, they want the hug. They want to be in the stroller. They want to be up. They want to be down. So baby wearing is that great kind of thing, depending on what kind of care you get, where you can be like, okay, you can be uppy on mommy for a little while, and when you're ready, you can go back down.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that checking in thing. You know, I want to go check in, make sure I'm still good with mom, and get a little hug and a cuddle and stuff,
right.
Or have a nap or whatever.
And are most carriers or slings safe, even for toddlers?
Most are. I mean, there have been in the past few years a few carriers that were recalled on the market. Most of those carriers that we talked about earlier about that cradle hold, most of those carriers they're called bag sling type carriers.
Yeah.
And so you basically, it looks like a big knapsack that you, or not knapsack, like duffel bag that you kind of put the baby in. Those are not safe for children at all. For baby, and especially for newborns. What can happen in those carriers, it's what's called positional asphyxia. Right. So essentially babies can suffocate.
Okay.
And the reason they do that is their chin goes down to their chest, their airway gets squished,
Is that why?
and they're not breathing.
Okay.
So that's another reason why we don't recommend anymore that cradle hold, because it's just, you know, it's kind of one of those things where if the baby does slip down into it and their head gets pulled forward, it doesn't take long for a baby to suffocate. So we don't recommend any kind of carrier like that anymore. Most of them have been pulled off the market.
And that's why, again, it is good to get your information before investing and choosing a carrier and learning how to wear it properly.
Absolutely.
And finding the best fit for you and baby. Well, that was my next question. Is there a risk of falling out or suffocating? But again, it depends on the carrier, right?
It depends on the carrier. And the thing is, I mean, baby wearing is a skill. So it's something that you do need to practice. It's something that you need to kind of take some time and figure out. Just like you need to figure out how your car seat goes in the car, and you need to follow the instructions and make sure that's installed properly. You kind of make sure that you install your baby carrier properly and on yourself and learn the ins and outs of it.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of a learning curve with all the baby carriers as well.
Well, there's so much out there right now. And that's why I asked, is it just a trend too? But you know, like, there's so much carriers to choose from. I think people are just like going for the pretty and that's it, not really being educated and learning properly about the type of carriers out there. So I think what you're doing is a great resource for moms out there.
Thank you.
How hard is it on like the mom's back for carrying around that extra weight? And this one's for you, Evan.
This one's for Evan, because he asked me about this earlier. And I think, well, here's the thing. Anytime you're carrying a significant amount of weight on you, whether you're backpacking, whether you're doing anything like that, you want to make sure that you distribute that weight properly. So if you're wearing a 50-pound backpack on you, you're going to make sure you have your waist strap done up. You're going to have
support.
You're not going to just carry it on one shoulder. You're going to have a two-shoulder. You're going to have a chest clip. So that's the kind of thing that we do with baby wearing as well, is that there are a lot of different baby carriers that distribute the weight of your child around your body, that put most of the weight on your hips, and have straps that go across your back. And once you do that, you eliminate the level of pain and strain that you're going to feel.
Makes sense.
So, and I mean, you need to try these things on too to see which one works with your body type, with your lifestyle, and with your baby too.
That's right. Do you have, maybe we need babies at the store so we can try and figure it out?
Well, and we do. We have our demo babies. We call them the perfect babies.
Yeah.
They're always quiet.
Yeah.
Wonderful. But most babies in slings are very quiet. I mean,
because they're comforted.
You know what? You have a kid who's like cranky and teething and won't nap, and you tried everything. Throw them in a carrier, walk around your house, and I guarantee you 10, 15 minutes they'll be sleeping.
Well, that brings me to my other question, because my mom always was like, every time my babies cry, don't go to them, don't lift them, they'll just get needy and they'll become too clingy. So is that like...
that's a very North American it is. It's a very North American mentality that we need to create these strong, independent children, and the only way to do that is to put them down and let them do what they need to do.
Not get too needy for
no, but actually, there's a lot of research that actually shows that physical closeness and the proximity of wearing your baby can actually encourage children to be more independent. Because they have this sense, they feel more secure, they're more content, they have a good sense of self-esteem, they know where they belong in the world, and so they're more able to go, I'm going to go to explore a little more and do what I want to do, and then I can come back and check in, and so that's kind of the philosophy behind attachment parenting,
right? And
baby wearing is definitely a big part of that.
I wish I think I would have enjoyed it. Again, we did not, I didn't do the baby wearing thing because, again, I chose the wrong carrier and it wasn't comfortable, but I totally would have loved to wear my baby close to me.
It is really cool. It's awesome. I mean, my 2-year-old, she'll go pick a carrier out of our big collection. I have a lot. And she'll be like, Mommy, I'll be on your back. And she has her own little collection of baby carriers, and she'll bring me her doll and want to get her little dolly wrapped up on her.
Do you have little mini doll?
We have little mini doll baby carriers that she has too.
I'm gonna have to shop at your store. That's awesome. Okay, let's take a short break while you absorb all of that baby wearing information. And when we get back, Natasha will demonstrate some baby wearing techniques on various baby carriers. You're watching Mommy Talk on Fuse Logic TV. I'm your host, Narissa Singh, with Play and Learn Toys. Welcome back to Mommy Talk on Fuse Logic TV. I'm your host, Narissa Singh, with Play and Learn Toys. So, if you're wondering how complicated it is to wear a baby carrier or tie a sling, Natasha, our baby-wearing expert from Natural Urban Mamas, is here to show us a few different carriers and slings and how to use them correctly. So, take it away, Natasha.
This is a wrap-style baby carrier. So this is basically one of those like 5-meter long pieces of fabric that you wrap around your body. This is the one that most people are intimidated by, but it's actually not as complicated as it looks.
And I've got your baby here, so tell me.
Narissa's holding my baby. So you get into it essentially like this.
Here you go.
And then you take your little baby and hold them up here. Slide them down into the sling or into the carrier, into the body of the carrier. You want to bring the carrier up to their earlobes. And then you tuck it under their bum, and you see that M position that we make with the legs so that they're in that nice proper position. You give it a little.
It's just kind of like swaddling them.
It's like swaddling, without the keeping the legs all smushed together.
Right.
How elasticy is the fabric? Like, does it have some stretch?
Now these kind of wraps come in different
Fabrics.
Different fabrics. Most people are probably as familiar with this as a stretchy wrap. This one that I'm using right now is a gauze wrap. It's kind of like a hybrid. So it's like a little bit stretchy, but not. It doesn't have too much. So I prefer a non-stretchy wrap. They're more sturdy. You can use them for longer. And there you go.
It's
I'm all tied
functional and pretty at the
Across
same
my
time.
back. I'm hands-free. I can do grocery shopping, laundry,
And
go for a
snug
walk.
in there.
Walk the dog, baby's sleeping. This is a great one to breastfeed in as well, because all you need to do at this point is kind of loosen it up, and then all you do is sort of scooch baby down to the point where you need them to be, and then you can undo your nursing bra and go do that. And it's very discreet. No one's going to know what you're doing.
Because,
You can always pull over one of these little sides, too, to give yourself a little bit more privacy. But there you go. And then to take baby out, you just kind of unpeel them like a little onion.
Very
And
versatile.
there you go. So you take baby back for a minute.
Well,
I want to show the other one that I so that wrap is great for newborn all the way up to toddlerhood. You can use wraps, not stretchy wraps, but woven wraps or non-stretchy wraps. You can also use them on your back. So you can learn to do back carries, which are really great.
Right.
This, what I put on right now, is a ring sling. So this is the one carrier that is a one-shouldered carrier.
I see a lot of this one around.
This is a really great one. This is a go-to carrier for those quick trips or when you have those babies that like to be in and out of something. Again, you start up high, bring baby into the carrier, kind of reach underneath and grab their bum bum.
Are we learning here, Evan?
Are you
Yes.
Take notes.
You taking notes for future reference? So once you get baby in there, you just can grab the tails on this side and tighten it up. And then they're very secure. Again, their legs are out in that proper, nice position. The kind of position that sort of wraps around your belly. And off you go. This is great for newborns. This is great, too, for your older kids when they get a little bit bigger. And, you're doing a whole lot of this kind of carrying. So
awesome.
You don't want to, those moms, you see them in the mall all the time, the mom's pushing the stroller and holding the baby.
Yeah.
Leave the stroller in the car. If you're just going to carry the kid anyhow, get yourself a nice sling and do this. And they're like happy as a clam.
Free,
and you can still do what you need to do.
Hold the other child.
Hold the other This is very good for when you're having your second or third child. Carriers can save your life when you have more than one kid. The two-shouldered carriers, this one it's called a Maytai. So it's based on an Asian-style carrier. It's pretty simple. All you do is tie it around your back in a nice knot. And then
that's what we're talking about for support there.
Yeah,
That's
so this
good,
is that waist strap. This is where all of the baby's weight is essentially going to get distributed. You take your baby again, on you. Bring the carrier up. Throw these lovely straps over your shoulders. Woo! And then you just reach behind, cross them in the back, and come around to the front and tie it up.
So you totally could do this by yourself.
Absolutely. And that, you know what? Like this, it doesn't have to be crazy complicated. Yeah. This is really nice. It has a little, I tried it in there, sleeping hood. So if they go to sleep, you can just, give them a little bit.
Or if it starts raining.
Or if it starts raining, because Evan's going to be walking around with his babies in the rain. Actually, you know what? I was at Folk Fest on the weekend, and it was raining. And yes,
it'll be handy.
They do come in handy. So, they're very simple to do. Something like this, I'll just quickly show you as well, can be easily transferred from your front to your back. So back carrying is something that usually can start happening when babies have really good head control. And so we usually say like 5 or 6 months is usually when most people are comfortable doing that. And it's a simple matter of just kind of like scooching your baby around.
Okay.
Get them over to the side. And then
this is totally reminding me of like camera bags.
Is it? So babies, camera bag wearing, whatever you're into. And then, you've got your baby on your back. My baby's a little small for this because she's more of a newborn. But then essentially,
but that obviously won't
you're
happen,
up. Yeah, you're up again. You can cross these in the front, or you can cross them under your arms,
and then back to the back.
And you just go around the back, and then bring them back around the front, and then there you go.
I actually want a camera bag that just ties like that.
You do? Well, maybe we can.
This
one
might work.
We could get Evan a baby wearing camera bag.
That's right.
For my baby. Yeah.
There we go. For your baby, because your camera probably is your baby.
Yeah.
And so there you go. Like that's it's a simple thing to do. Obviously, I've been doing this for a lot of years, so my skill is there.
Again, comes with practice.
It does come with practice.
And getting the right information. Knowing how to do it properly. And then,
absolutely.
Makes sense. Wow, that was very, very informative.
To get your baby off. Scooch them back around to the front.
I can't believe how much I learned. So do you have any upcoming events or workshops?
I'm doing actually... some workshops with some other... I'm doing a Spruce Grove workshop for the Meet Up Moms group. Do you want to hold the baby? Okay. I'm doing a workshop with the Meet Up Moms group in Spruce Grove next week, and again for their program in September. And I have my own workshops that I am doing. A new workshop that we're doing as well for back carrying. It's called Back to Babywearing. So we're going to be starting up that workshop for people who want to learn more about how to do back carries. The other thing that we have that's starting is I am in the process of getting together all my videos. So we have instructional videos that are coming together.
That will be coming.
That we will be having our own little YouTube channel for.
Great. No, that'll be an awesome resource for sure. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Okay, so for more information and demos on how to choose the right carrier and learning how to use it, our audience, anyone out there, could basically come to Natural Urban Mamas, contact you for more information, get information on workshops.
Yeah. All the information on workshops and the private one-on-one consultations is on the website. We have a Facebook page as well that you can keep updated, or you can follow us on Twitter as well at Natural Urban Mom.
Natural Urban Mom. Yeah, it's all going to be on the posted out here.
He's got it.
He's got it.
He's working it.
Yeah. Thanks so much for coming out. That was
you.
an amazing info session, and there's so much to talk about. So if we didn't cover everything, we'll definitely have to probably do a follow-up and
I would love to come back.
Answer whatever other questions there are. If you have any questions or need more information about this topic, Natasha would be happy to assist. You can find her at naturalurbanmamas.com, an amazing resource for baby carers and baby wearing education. Okay, so before we end our show today, I'd like to say that the new website for Play and Learn Toys, it has been launched, and thanks to David with Monolith Digital in Edmonton, he did an awesome job on redesigning
so
our website.
It does.
So check it out. We still have lots of updating to go, but we'll get there. Join us on Facebook and Twitter for upcoming events and sales, and we love hearing from you, so leave us a comment on what you think of our new website or feedback from our show today. We love hearing it all. And you can find information for Natasha and her website as well. And definitely follow her on Twitter and Facebook to keep updated on baby wearing. That's it for today. I'm your host for Mommy Talk, Narissa Singh. Thanks for watching.